Happy Independence Day. Today is the 4th of July and we're going to be doing our garden tour today. We had everything ready to do it on the 1st. The garden looked really nice and then it rained for 3 days. So we're doing it today. It is supposed to rain later today. It is supposed to rain tomorrow. We've just had so much rain. We've been really wet. We haven't had to water the garden at all in 2.5 weeks maybe, which has been really nice and saved us time that way. But we can't even get out here and do anything half the time because it is constantly raining. So here is the beginning of the garden. Here are the bean plants. So we did a second planting on the other side of the fence that I'm on because all of this side had the leaves ate off and some of them have came back. So you can see they are growing and they have leaves again, but they are definitely way behind the ones that we had planted second that didn't have any leaf damage. And then in this row we have some third-year onion plants that are flowering and we will harvest the seed from them. And then we have our sweet peppers and some hot peppers at the end, and they aren't looking that great. I don't think they're liking all of the rain. Peppers tend to like more dry dirt. They don't like being wet all the time. So I think that is affecting them. Over here we have our beef steak tomatoes. They are looking good, growing well. I haven't pruned them at all and I probably should. In this row we have our big boy slicing tomatoes. Same thing, I haven't pruned any of them. Some of them did get damaged. Our pigs were getting out. And of course they came to the garden and damaged some things. This is our onion and shallot row. I did weed this once and then I weeded it again, but only half of it. So the weeds are definitely growing this year. And then there's our shallots, and then we have some peppers at the end. In this row we have cherry tomatoes and cucumbers. Looks like I need to get out here and trellis the cucumbers. They are starting to just kind of grow out and wild. Something did eat a lot of the leaves off of our cucumber plants and we did lose one. And then our pea seeds that I planted in this row never germinated. Down here we have a bok choy, a summer squash or a zucchini, I can't remember. There's one of each, I don't remember which one's which. This one, I keep weeding the dandelions around it and it's still just not doing well. Down here we have our herb garden. It's looking pretty good. I have weeded it a few times, hard to tell. The lemon balm really took off. My lavender keeps flowering. It's kind of hard to see in this video, but I've just been harvesting the flowers. They say if you keep picking them, they will keep growing. My chamomile is starting to flower. My chive plants are flowering. I have sage. I did lose one sage plant. And then my basil is looking better than what it was looking like. I have carrots that reseeded themselves right here. Rosemary, Brussels sprouts. These are the potatoes that we just put on the ground and covered with hay. They're doing really well. They haven't flowered yet. Hopefully soon. In this raised bed we have onions. Some of them are starting to bulb. So you can see onions in there. In this bed we have our garlic. It should be ready to harvest in like a week or two. It is not dying back like I would expect it to, so maybe it's going to take longer. And then we have dill in here that reseeded itself. So you want, when you go to harvest your garlic, you want it to start dying back like that. Then you know it is ready. And then over here we have our corn. Everything needs to be weeded. The theme of my garden is it always needs to be weeded every single time. It's always full of weeds, but it still grows food, so that's okay. But corn is looking really good. Over here we have our 2 rows of voluntary potato plants. Sounds like somebody has a 4-wheeler out on the road. The goats and the chickens did not like that. They got pretty scared and started running around. I don't know who that was. But anyways, and then, so in this row of potatoes, we planted beets and carrots. The carrots did not germinate. The beets did. Looking all right. They're kind of small compared to the last year at this time, but we did plant them a lot later. There are a ton of potato bugs on that plant. The potatoes in these 2 rows have already flowered, so we could start harvesting small potatoes at any time now. In this row, we have chili peppers. I really need to get out here and weed. Oh, I'm assuming those are deer tracks and not pig tracks. Some of the deer have been out here eating things. And then in this row, we also have some summer squash and zucchini. It is small. We planted it late. Some of it is flowering. I've been out here picking out the flowers off of it, trying to just get it to grow leaves and not fruit. In this row, we have bush beans. We did buy these as starts from a nursery. My friend has a nursery. And we went there to get something and we saw these and we just decided to get them instead of putting seeds in the ground. And then at the end of the row, we also got some Roma tomatoes the same day. And we ended up just putting them in the ground. They are looking pretty good. Hopefully they do well. I picked up some Mexibel peppers. They're really good. We've only had them once before and it's been a long time and I've never seen them again. So when I saw a couple plants at one of the farm stores, I grabbed them and we just put them in the ground in front of our celery. Here's our celery. And then for some reason, some of the celery is getting a little rough looking. There's that one. And then there's that one. I don't know what it is or why. We had kohlrabi here. We have 2 left. We need to harvest those. Kohlrabi is delicious. I will be growing more of that next year. We have our red cabbage. And in this row last year, we had Roma tomatoes. And some of them came back on their own and we just left them and let them grow. And then at the end of this row, we have our chard. It's looking good. I need to come through and pick some and throw it to the animals if we're not going to eat it. This is our collards row. And as our collards were growing, we noticed some of them were different. And we actually have 4 Brussels sprouts in this row too, which is fine with me. I love Brussels sprouts. Then we have our kale. We have cabbage. Oh, I have a bok choy there that looks like it's going to flower. Better harvest that. The ducks keep getting in our cabbage. It's looking better. We've been keeping them out of here, but they were like coming in, just like sitting down in the middle of the cabbages and then eating them. So they were smushed down, tore up, but it looks like they're doing pretty good. I've been trying to keep them out of here. We have been harvesting some cabbage. Probably have to harvest this one. We've been having lots of problems with like earwigs getting in the cabbages. But we have enough cabbage to share, I guess. And then back here, really needs to be weeded. We have all of our brassicas. So we have Brussels sprouts, broccoli, and cauliflower back here, and then some sunflowers. These sunflowers just came back by themselves. Hi, pigs. All right, so now we are out in the old horse pen where we planted all of our vining stuff and where we said we were going to try not to neglect it this year, but it's been neglected this year already. It's been like 3 weeks, 4 weeks since I've planted it. We've had lots of problems out here. So raccoons were out further out on our property by some bigger trees where raccoons live in there, and they've been coming out at night and just ripping the plants up. So we've been having those problems. And then second of all, this is on a slope, so it goes uphill towards the road, and with all the rain that we've been getting, it's just been like rushing all the water and all the dirt down the hill, and it's been washing plants out that way. So a few discouraging things up here. This ground is not that great of ground, so if we're going to grow up here next year, we're going to have to figure something out, do some different things up here. Last year when we planted in here, we only planted at the bottom of the hill, so we didn't think about the rain washing all of our plants out, but trial and error. So some of the plants are looking okay, and then some of the plants are gone, and then some are very small, but we haven't even really weeded up here, and with the rain we haven't had to water, but hopefully we still get something out here. So this is towards the bottom of the hill, so that's like a good plant. And then this is the very bottom of the hill, and you can tell like when I planted these, I dug holes and then put the plants in there so they all had like a well to catch the water, and all of these at the very bottom are filled with dirt from the dirt just coming right down the hill. So this is kind of what it looks like looking up towards the road. There's like our gate, and the road's kind of right beyond that. So it is weedy. I had to put some stakes in the ground so we could see where some of the plants were. But there's a little guy. So some of these are flowering already, so I'm gonna have to bring my scissors out here and cut the flowers off so they concentrate on growing bigger instead of flowering. And then there was a plant there and it's gone. No idea where it went. It got washed out somewhere. And then we have some watermelon. It's growing really slowly and really small. And then this watermelon is really sad looking. So that is going to be it for this garden tour video. I do have some like herb plants on my porch. Maybe I'll show them in the next garden tour video. We'll see. They're doing really well. I bought backup plants because the ones in my garden weren't doing well. Now they're both doing well, so I'm going to have lots of herbs this year, which is totally fine with me. Hopefully your gardens look a little bit better than mine. If they don't, hang in there. It'll get there. It'll get better. And I will see you guys later.